In Musa alayhi salam's story, it's talking about when he has to leave the city because they're looking for him because he killed the person. And then he goes to Madian and he helps the two women to get the water because they're behind the shepherds and they're not giving them their rights. And then it says that he sits down under the tree and he makes the dua and he says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Ya Rabbi, I'm in need for whatever good you would send down to me. I'm in need of it. And it uses the word fakir in Quranic Karim. And then after that, they come back to him and they say, our father is calling you. And he meets Shuaib alayhi salam and everything opens for him. Just one thing that I'm noticing is that sometimes things are very, very difficult until the point where you really, I'm not comparing, I'm saying just it made me think that sometimes things get really, really difficult until the point where you say, I really can't do anything, I need help.
Of course.
How can we change so that we're always like that we don't have to go through the difficulty till we go down all the way that we say, I'm broken, I need help. Or all the time we understand that I need help all the time. We're always in that state.
Years ago, we had a very small kitchen over there. And it was a time of Eid. And at that time, it wasn't too many people. Maybe 50, 70 people at most. Even less than that, I think, but still some people. I think Erdem was there, other people were there. And I was going to cook for Shaykh Efendi. I know he likes some seafood, so I was going to cook that. But you know, these things you cannot cook the days before, you have to cook on the day itself. So on the day of Eid, after we finished praying, everything was going on. And then I went to prepare because we're going to have lunch. We only had a couple of hours. I went inside and there was a blackout. And whole Dergahı was shut down, no power. We were going to go to where Salih was living at that time, the guest house, to meet there. And Shaykh Efendi said, go over there, cook. Now you know it's not that easy. So we packed up everything. I have to think clearly. We went over there, everyone helped. We cooked it, alhamdulillah. It wasn't that easy. And the whole thing is not to make a fuss. Don't make a fuss. When some difficulty is happening, don't be, what they say today, emo. Don't panic. Cool. Because you're not doing anything wrong. So many times we do wrong things and we are so cool, so confident. But now you're doing something like this and you get so, I say, okay, now I have to fight my ego that way. I went there and we cooked. And that was the day after I cooked, that one had a fish bone stuck in her mouth anyway. I was a little bit afraid, you remember? But, so Shaykh Efendi didn't say anything. So we cooked. But there was a moment where unusual things like that happen. And then I just say, if you want me to fail, I will fail. If you want me to succeed, I will succeed. I know I cannot do this without your help. It's impossible. And it's not a state of fear, it's not a state of want, in that way that you're really desperate of this. It is almost a state of submission, you understand? Where you say, I cannot do this. I really cannot do this. Because of this, I cannot. But I need your help. Without your help, I really can't. Please help me. That's very direct. That's very simple. And you stop relying on yourself or your head. I mean, you plan everything, but you say, I can't do this without your help. Alhamdulillah, through Shaykh and his himmat, then everything went well. Was able to do everything properly. Not only that time, so many times. What we are trained in the Dergahı is they'll put you through an impossible situation where you have to say, it's impossible for me to do this, I need your help. 10 years have passed, no? Could we have achieved this by ourselves? No, we could not. But that sincerity of asking, I'm really in need. And looking around you, you don't have anything to fall back on. How are you going to make that to become more often that you are doing this? You practice. You use every opportunity. When you have a headache, you declare your helplessness. When you have a stomach ache, you declare your weakness. When you're angry, you declare your kufr. When every wrong thing that is happening to you, and then you say, Ya Rabbi, I'm complaining about myself to you. That time, watch to see how fast the help is going to reach to you, and you sort of know what to do. Then don't wait for a dramatic thing to happen. When you are scared or you have anxiety, then say, Ya Rabbi, you see how weak I am, how useless I am. I'm asking you. I cannot do this on my own. If you are looking for those weaknesses, moments of weaknesses, helplessness, you'll find it every day. Every day. One thing or another, or 10 things, or 100 things. Then you start using your mind. Even if nothing is going on, you say, what if I can't breathe right now? What if my hand cannot move? What if something happens to this, to my children, to my father, to... Ya Allah, Allah, how helpless I am. That is a state when you, little bit you say, Allahu Akbar, I am nothing. La ilaha illa anta subhana in kuntu mina zalimin. I can only do zulm to myself. And you are the Lord, you are one. But you have to do it every day. Then, when you get washed up, that's the time you say, yes, you're right. Yes, right. Absolutely, you're right. You don't try to defend yourself, especially if you're in the mode of always defending yourself, then there's a reason. Then once you stop defending yourself and you say, okay, then you start understanding where you've gone wrong, and you learn from that. You learn from that. You are in control of yourself. People are not going to control you. You understand? And that time you say, okay, you're setting me an impossible task. You're asking me to do what? You understand? And then you say, okay, I ask for your support. What should I do? Then watch to see what's going to happen. Then you don't have to go through all of that explanation, arguing back and forth, this, not this. And then finally we say, okay, are you understanding? Yeah, sort of. You know, this is what I was going to do. It's so simple. And you say, oh, really? Yeah. If you had only said, inshallah, I trust in you. You ask me impossible things, but it's impossible to me in my limited mind. It's not impossible to you. It's not impossible to Allah. It's not. It's impossible to us. But we are Hazrati Insan. We are not animals locked in 5 senses. How are you going to unlock that if you're still insisting that you have to work within those parameters, work within those senses? How are you going to unlock it? You cannot even think now. You cannot even imagine. Your imagination is not even there. At least imagine. At least make an intention. So, guidance is important. Allah forgive me, inshallah. Fatiha.